What's up everybody, Demon back. Welcome to a brand new video. This one is going to be doing, once again, another Shin Godzilla news and updates. Wow, I feel like we've done a million of these. Just because we've done a lot doesn't mean I'm burnt out. I actually really enjoy doing these videos because I love talking about Shin Godzilla news. I love talking about news in general, but Shin Godzilla is special to me because it's the first one that I started out on. Anyways, as you guys can see here, here is the Shin Godzilla roster from SHMA Roster as we know it, with the original release that is divided fans, love it or hate it, doesn't really matter here. This is just informational video. Then you have the upcoming Shinagawa-kun as well as Kamata-kun, aka Shin Godzilla's forms 2 and 3. I really like these guys. You guys know my opinion on Shinagawa-kun. He needs to be more red, but if they're going to keep him this kind of grayish, kind of brown tan scale kind of color, I will still get it. I'll just be disappointed in it. You have the DVD versions, which are bronze versions of those guys. There's nothing different in terms of design or sculpt at all. They're just bronze versions. And then you have the brand new announced Shin Godzilla 2016. Well, this comes out 2017, but it's the 2016 version Godzilla, which is the fourth form, the Awakening version. This is amazing. He looks so good. So here he is inside of his glass case. We'll get through these kind of blurry pictures so you guys can check out the HD photo. So here he is, and oh my god, I can't wait to buy him. I'm going to pre-order him as soon as I can. Get that $150 price tag that is set on shmonsters.com. I'm going to pre-order him once again. I'll probably wind up spending about the same amount, probably about $200 due to shipping from Japan, but doesn't really matter. I'm cool with that. I spent that much on the first version of the figure, and I'll spend that much on the second version because, well, you know, when it comes to SH Monsters, I like to throw my money away. Now, if you look at the design of this guy, he is really cool. So there's some little things going on here that they changed. I mean, the biggest thing that they changed, the most obvious, is the mouth is now split mouth so that he can have the atomic breath effect. As well as they turned the color scheme from red to purple. Now, the thing that the original release got a ton of crap for was the paint job, and it looks like, once again, this is just the prototype, and last time the prototype lied to us, so why wouldn't it again? But this one looks like they may have learned their lesson. This one looks a lot more toned down. The gloss isn't there. Now, if you guys thought the gloss was a mistake on the original release, just know that, no, they did not mess up every single version of the figure that they made. The gloss was a stylistic choice. It was supposed to be there. It was just a choice that a lot of people didn't like, including myself. I think he would have looked better in a toned-down version like this. Now, the red also doesn't seem to stand out as much as we'd like it to, as well as the purple doesn't really stand out as much as I'd like it to, but that, you know, I'm still going to get the figure because it's a really good figure. So you guys can see split mouth. He's got purple running through the chest as well as the spines, purple on that big open gaping gill hole on his neck. Little design change to the face. The eyes look a bit different, as well as the sculpt of the face looks a tad bit different than mine. Here you guys go, different pictures of him. Once again, just the little subtle changes, the hints of purple here and there, especially in the dorsal fins. This one on the left looks to be more purple on the chest area as well. Here is the magazine article that was published that has, or it wasn't necessarily published, I'm sure we'd have more pictures of it otherwise, but it has the amazing photos of Shin Godzilla. So what can we talk about here other than the accessories? There's two things that we'll touch up here on in a second, but the accessories, number one, you have a atomic breath effect. You guys can see it here, the atomic breath effect, which is the fire breath, the first version of the breath. You have the, what looks like it's going to come with an explosion effect at the bottom there that you can place the atomic breath fire into, which is going to be amazing. It looks like it has hints of the black kind of tar stuff that he spits out of his mouth. It's a gas, it's not tar. And then you have two versions. It looks like it's going to come with two, thank goodness. Looks like it's going to come with two versions of the purple breath, one for the mouth, one for the tail. It'd be cool if it came with like 6 for the back, but I doubt that. That'd probably bump up the price a lot. I wouldn't mind though. I'd want all the back lasers as well. So these two for the tail as well as the mouth look pretty sweet. And then the last two things we want to touch up on here are the design change to the tail, having the more open-mouthed tail as opposed to the original release not having that included. I don't know how accurate to the movie this is. In fact, I guarantee it's not accurate to the movie because the tail was never featured as a mouth up until the very last scene of the movie. So the atomic breath effect will, you know, you can You can position it so it looks like it's coming out of the tail's mouth. Once again, that mouth was not developed at that scene in the movie. You guys can go back and rewatch the movie for yourself. When the tail falls on the ground at the end, when he's freezing up into the coagulant state, you guys can clearly see that there's no defined face on the tail at that point, so that means it develops afterward. Anyways, I'm going on and on about this tail like I always do. I just think it's a cool little design change. You can see they actually made the tail fatter than the original release. Sorry about that. Here at the end, you guys can see it bulks up a bit, and then you guys can also see, I'm very confused about how this is going to work, that the mouth has two different states. It has the open split jaw as well as the closed. So this could be one mouthpiece and it just articulates by you like pop something and then it pulls out. I don't think that's what's going on here. You know, this is plastic. It's not going to be able to expand and contract like that. I think it might be a removable head. You guys can also see there's different, you know, if you look at the two eyes, the eyes look different on each figure, on each of the heads. So, not quite sure what's going on there. I would just assume that, you know, this is going to be two different heads, removable heads. I really am opposed to that idea. I don't like having removable heads with my toys because typically they wind up broken and I get really upset. And this is $200 and I'm going to be, well, it's $150, but you know, it's going to cost about $200. So I'm going to be really upset if it winds up giving out and breaking when I take the heads off and try and switch heads. That will be a huge bummer. Now I want to talk about one last thing that I'd like to see from SHMA Roster. I know they already have 3 versions of Shin Godzilla, but I would like to see a special colorized version, not an Awakening version or whatever. I would like to see a special colorized version. What that means is I'd like to see a more toned down grayscale version like you have with X Plus, like the prototype showed. I'd like to see a more toned down grayscale with more highlights of red. I think what they could do is if they tone down the black glossiness into a version that looks like the X Plus and then highlight the red a lot, I would love that. I would be absolutely just thrilled if they did that, and you know, I would wind up buying another version of the toy because at that point I would have 3, possibly 4 if I wind up with one of the Steelbook 4K editions, which I'm hoping to. So, you know, guys, really just what I'm saying here is SH Monster, you guys have a huge opportunity to fix your mistake and make a lot of money off of it, so go for it. I'm really excited about the Awakening version of Shin Godzilla. I will be sure to pick that one up and be reviewing it once I get it, just like I still have to review my original release. I'm still gathering my thoughts on it. I'm still pretty divided on it. I think the design, the sculpt is beautiful. I think the figure itself is really great. Articulation's amazing. The only problem, just like everyone else, is the paint, and I seem to have more of a problem with the paint the longer it goes on, so we'll talk about that in the review. But thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this kind of short news update, only one topic. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, thank you. D-Man